Hello everyone and welcome to SkillCapped. I'm Notorious Dub and today I'm going to be breaking down the myths behind muscle memory and from there giving you guys all of the information you need to know to use AimLab, a completely free to play aim trainer designed to help you improve at aiming, easily downloadable on Steam. To help you improve in Valorant, and for those who just want to know exactly what they should be doing, we're going to close out the video with the SkillCapped AimLab playlist, as well as all of the best settings for AimLab and anything else you might actually need to know to work on for you to follow. And if you're serious about improving, then go to SkillCapped.com to unlock our hyper improvement system that will teach you how to win more gunfights, master your agent, and so much more. It's backed by our rank improvement guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. So come join over 500,000 satisfied members of SkillCapped, improve that KDA, and get the rank you've always wanted at SkillCapped.com. Link is in the description below. Now, muscle memory is one of the most important things to understand when it comes to being a good aimer, because it is literally the foundation that your ability as a gamer is built upon. And there are two things that are commonly referred to as muscle memory. There's muscle fiber memory and neuron memory. Muscle fiber memory is your muscle's ability to get back to its full ability after degrading over time, whether it's reaction time or simply just the size of your muscle. And it's much easier to relearn a skill and get back to your peak than to reach that peak in the first place. And then there's neuron memory, which is what we're going to be mostly focusing on because aim training is mostly developing the brain. It's like riding a bike. There seems to be this moment where it just clicks and you're able to perform the task, and it never really goes away. But the important part is that you can actually improve on the ability because the connections and the motor cortex of your brain can be improved upon, developing stronger connections and allowing your brain to access that memory faster, making you faster to perform the movement and much more consistent as well. And these motor neurons that we're developing will be able to help out with other similar actions, which is why we've developed a well-rounded aim training routine to help fully develop your aiming ability. Now let's talk about the aiming mechanics that are the most common in Valorant that we're going to be developing and exactly how we're going to do that. Now at this point we've all probably heard that crosshair placement is the most important thing in Valorant, which means that the most common movement that you're going to be performing is micro changes around your crosshair, otherwise known as micro adjustments. And in Valorant, most of your kills are actually going to come from an enemy peeking around a corner or you peeking a corner, and an enemy just being slightly off of your crosshair. And then the micro adjustment is the key to actually snagging and picking up that kill. And the perfect task to develop your ability to micro adjust is called micro shot. In this task there will be one ball on the screen at all times, and as soon as you destroy the one ball, another one appears very close to that other target. The goal here is to be as accurate as possible with this task while going as fast as possible as well. A great goal for this task is going to be going as fast as you possibly can go while staying above 90% accuracy, because in reality it doesn't matter how fast you can go if you can't accurately hit your shots. After that, of course, we have horizontal movement for when enemies are strafing left to right or right to left, and you have to land that first shot to give them that 70% slow from that first bullet to be able to pick up the kill from there. For this skill we're going to be incorporating the motion shot task. Here you're going to have one target spawn in the very center of the screen, and as soon as you shoot that target, another ball of varying sizes will appear and move across the screen. The goal again is to flick as fast as possible to the target and land an accurate shot. This is perfect for developing the ability to land those headshots on moving targets, and this task is a bit more difficult, but you're going to want to stay above the 80 to 85% accuracy threshold on this one and increase your speed as much as possible while still maintaining that level of accuracy. And next we have target switching, the highlight play skill where you have to swap from one target to the next accurately and quickly to hopefully pick up 2 or more kills very quickly. To train the skill we're going to be training using the switch track ultimate task. For this task, balls will be filling up the screen moving horizontally in both directions, and the goal is to flick to each ball as fast as possible and maintain your crosshair on the target until the target is destroyed. Now since your gun is always firing, the accuracy is purely dependent on how much time you spend with your crosshair over a target. So instead of focusing on accuracy, simply focus on swapping targets as fast as possible and not letting your crosshair come off the target the entire time. Now this is one of those skills that takes a while to be able to implement into the game, but once it clicks, just like riding a bike, you'll notice a huge improvement in your play and you'll start picking up those big rounds for your teams that you really had no business picking up. And finally, let's talk about reaction time. Now in a game where fractions of a second are the difference between killing or being killed, winning or losing a round, or winning or losing a game, your reaction time can be one of your biggest strengths or your worst weaknesses. Now reaction time is a highly debated topic on what the most effective ways to go about it are, but it's agreed upon by most that you can improve your base reaction time by somewhere from 10 to 20%. And we know that performing the task that you want to get faster at works. So for this task, we're going to be doing the detection ultimate task. Here we're throwing aiming, moving, and everything else out of the window so we can isolate the reaction time aspect of the task. Simply relax, look at the screen, and as soon as the target appears on screen, click your mouse as fast as you can possibly go. The goal of this is to train your brain to react to the stimulus as quickly as possible. And this shouldn't be one of those tasks that you expect to see incredible results overnight, but over time this could easily be one of the most beneficial exercises of them all. And finally, we have an honorable mention to finish it off. Now in Valorant, sound localization is a huge part of the game. You hear a noise in your headphones, and then you're predicting what you're hearing and exactly where it's coming from, which are honestly usually just footsteps behind you because your Cypher forgot to put down tripwires this round. And while this will come with time for most people, I notice a lot of people have trouble with being able to localize sound properly even in the Immortal level, and Aim Lab has a great exercise to help you with this. The task is called Audio Spatial 8, where 8 orbs are going to spawn around you, and randomly one of them will make a noise. The goal is to flick to the target that the sound came from and shoot that target. For those that have trouble turning on people who catch you off guard, doing this task for about 10 minutes a day for a week will do wonders for you. Now we have left out quite a few different types of aiming here because Valorant just doesn't require that type of movement. Things like long range flicks pass about a 60-degree field of view. Very rarely will you have to make those type of long range flicks because Valorant has very funnel-like places on the map, and you can generally tell where the enemies are going to come from. So with decent crosshair placement, the long range flick practice is just a bit inefficient. And we also have vertical movement, where other games have insane amounts of vertical movement. Valorant only has very slightly verticality built into the maps, and most of your fights are going to be on the same level or very slightly above or below, but very rarely a target moving upwards that you would actually have to shoot and track going upwards. And then we have tracking with constant left and right changes in movement. Whereas other games have insane movement while shooting, strafing left and right, once enemies are tagged in Valorant, they're essentially just a sitting duck while you finish them off, or they just spray back at you and finish you off. But before we send you on your way, you have to make sure that you have your settings right. I see so many people that tell me that Valorant just feels different from Aim Lab, and we go through their settings and they've been practicing with the wrong field of view or the wrong sensitivity the entire time. Okay, so first of all, from the home screen, go to the settings cog in the bottom right corner of the screen. In the graphics section, make sure you have the full screen exclusive enabled so your game can properly run at whatever hertz you have your monitor set to. Otherwise, it will default to 60. Then your max queued frame should be set to low latency if your computer can handle it so you get the lowest amount of input lag. And then turn your graphics on fastest and everything below that off so you can get the most frames possible with the less visual clutter as possible. And make sure you set your frame rate limiter to off. From there, you're going to navigate to the controls tab on the left and select the Valorant game mode. Here, your sensitivity should match your in-game sensitivity, and make sure the field of view is set to 103, which is Valorant's base field of view setting. And finally, navigate to the game tab on the left. Scroll to the bottom and set it to first person mode and hide the weapon view model. This way, you're getting rid of anything and everything distracting on the screen, and you can just focus on the mouse movements and the targets. Also, it is worth mentioning that a typical Valorant crosshair is somewhere around 1 length, 2.5 thickness, and a 1 crosshair gap. But that's personal preference, so feel free to play around with that as you will. And before going into a task, make sure your map is set to the gray box setting, so it gets rid of all of the distracting things that are on the screens in the other map, so you can once again focus on the task at hand. Alright, now let's get into the SkillCapped playlist. This playlist is designed to be a warm-up, and to be done whenever you're done with Valorant for the day as well. It's super easy to download and use, and the link will be in the description. So, optimally you're going to use this playlist 2 times per day, in the morning before you play, and before you get off at the night. It's also a very short 18-minute playlist, so if you're ever in a slump, take a break to do the playlist to warm back up. Because honestly, warming up is completely overpowered, and just doing a simple warm-up will put you way ahead of most of the people at your skill level. So, first off, we're going to start with 3 grid shot tasks. Now, grid shot is a staple in any routine, and is what you'll see pro players like Tens grinding on stream, simply because it's great for getting the hand warmed up, getting you moving the mouse correctly, and just because it's a really fun task to do. And honestly, fun is a huge part of sticking to a routine because the routine that you're going to stick with is the most effective one. And for grid shot, you're going to want to go as fast as possible while maintaining a 90% accuracy threshold on your shots, so be sure to speed up as much as you can, but we want to make sure that we have good form and maintain a high level of accuracy because it doesn't matter how fast you are if you can't hit your shots. And then we're going straight into 4 runs of the micro shot task. Now this is similar to grid shot because this task is great for warming up, but it forces you to be more precise with your movements, and is going to train your ability to micro adjust to targets close to your crosshair. And for this task, you're going to want to aim for the 92% accuracy threshold, while once again pushing yourself to go as fast as possible, so speed up your shots, until you start to fall below that 92% mark. Of course, next we have 4 runs of motion shot. This task gets even more difficult and starts to incorporate movement into the task. Now here you're going to want to focus on clicking the stationary target and getting to the moving target as quickly as possible. Now this is going to help develop your ability to hit targets on the go and snag those headshots on difficult to hit targets. This task is a bit more difficult though, so you're going to want to focus on the 80 to 85% accuracy threshold while pushing yourself to go as fast as possible while maintaining that level of accuracy. And then we're going to pivot into switch track. This task is going to train your ability to map out your path from target to target and start racking up those kills back to back and picking up those rounds you have no business winning. So for this task, you're going to want to focus on speed, going as fast as you possibly can, snapping from target to target as each of them is getting destroyed, and focus on not letting your crosshair escape the target once you lock onto it. And finally, we're going to end off the playlist with 3 runs of the detection task, where you're going to be developing your reaction time, and from there, improving your skill in Valorant all across the board. So for this task, you can forget about accuracy or movement and erase your mind of everything, and simply focus on clicking the mouse as humanly fast as you can as soon as the target appears on the screen. Now, I do have a couple of closing remarks, because Aim Lab isn't going to do everything for you when it comes to improving in Valorant. Crosshair placement is one of the most important factors in Valorant, and Aim Lab can help you very much with crosshair placement because it's mostly dependent on map knowledge and understanding the headshot height of the angles that you're going to be peeked into or going to be peeked from. If you do want to train crosshair placement though, then deathmatch is going to be your best friend. So instead of focusing on winning the deathmatch, visualize the angles that you're going to be peeking into and try to predict the headshot angle with your crosshair every single time. Another great tip is to line your crosshair up with your teammates' heads at the beginning of each round, and try to keep your crosshair at that level throughout the entire round. This way, an enemy peeking at your level will be perfectly in line with your crosshair, and you have to move your crosshair the shortest distance to hit that headshot. And of course, we have spraying. Spraying is individual for each gun in Valorant, and Aim Lab just can't mimic that in-depth nature, so you're going to need to practice those shots as well. The best way to practice this is to go into the shooting range and pick out your gun of choice. Go to the practice dummy with the adjustable target, set it to 20 meters, and focus on spraying as much as you can while keeping all of your bullets inside the smallest circle in the middle. If you start to shoot outside of the circle, just reset and gradually increase the amount of bullets that you're spraying. And in no time, you'll be able to follow up the precise first shot that you've been training with Aim Lab with some backup shots to finish the job. And finally, Aim Lab isn't the real game. You should always follow up your Aim Lab practice with some deathmatch or games if you have the time after training in Aim Labs to help connect what you've practiced in isolation to the actual game of Valorant. And remember, if you want to improve, win more gunfights, and get the rank you've always wanted, then check out SkillCapped.com. Link is in the description below. So, what do you think of our routine? And what's helped you improve your aim in Valorant? Let me know in the comments down below. And while you're down there, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn those notification bells on, because we here at SkillCapped have a ton more comprehensive premium guides coming your way that you're going to want to stay up to date with so you can stay ahead of the pack. And as always, I want to thank you for spending this little bit of your day with us, and I'm Notorious Dub, signing off.